according to your own tradition. Muhammad actually thought he was demon possessed and he wanted to kill himself. My challenge to you, Hisham, is if you can find in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, where the true prophets of God, or the apostle of Jesus, experience what your prophet experienced, where they were afraid or they were squeezed to the point they thought they're going to die, or they start foaming at the mouth and thought that they were demon possessed, want to kill themselves. Can you show me any of those prophets that experienced what Muhammad did? None of them. What Muhammad experienced is something no prophet before him experienced. That was a true prophet. When Gabriel comes to Mary and she's afraid, he says, do not be afraid. When Gabriel comes to Zechariah, the father of Yahya John, he says, do not be afraid. When Jesus appears to John in Revelation, he says, do not be afraid. When Gabriel comes to Daniel, he says, do not be afraid. The true prophets and messengers are comforted and strengthened, but your prophet was violated to the point he ran shivering to Khadijah saying, cover me, and wanted to kill himself. That's not the same experience. So how come your prophet's experience is different from the experience of the true prophets of God?
To be honest with you, I don't read hadiths, but some specific hadiths, I don't research them up by myself.
That explains Muhammad was right when he said, I think I'm Majnun, possessed by a jinn. Sadly, he was right. If I believe the Bible is not corrupt, and the Bible tells me false prophets will come, and they will do miracles, not by God, but even by the power of Satan and demons, and Antichrist will come. And this is how you're going to know. They're going to say, Jesus is not the Son of God. God is not the Father. And then as a Christian, I come and I see Muhammad says, Jesus is not the Son of God. God is not the Father. Then as a Christian, do you see why we say, oh, he is one of the antichrists and false prophets that Jesus warned us about? You see it?
Yes. But why do you still believe Islam is a religion from Satan if it promotes the giving to the poor and to be good to people?
Well, Mormonism promotes being good to the poor and providing for people. And Joseph Smith, he's a prophet. So why aren't you a Mormon? Didn't you just read what Paul said? Satan will deceive false apostles to do good, because that good is what deceives you into thinking they're from God. So Joseph Smith and Mormons also feed the poor and give to the needy and spend millions in charity. So why aren't you a Mormon?
Yeah, I guess a good point.
Yeah, these are not good arguments for Muhammad. But then you overlook all the evil immorality of Muhammad. I'm not a Muslim, and I read according to the Quran and the authentic Sunnah, not da'if, but sahih narrations, that Muslims, under the order of Allah through Muhammad, can take pre-pubescent girls, meaning girls who are not mature psychologically, physically, marry them, divorce them for someone else to marry. That's in chapter 65, verse 4. Or that Muslims, when they're in an expedition doing jihad, this is Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 24, and you go to the authentic Sunnah, Sahih narrations, that if you attack a village, you take women captive, and even married women, you can have sex with them, even the married women, and then sell them. This is what we call rape and adultery. You don't have to marry them. You don't have to set them free. You enslave them. You can have sex with them, even if their husbands are alive, and then sell them. So if I'm a Christian and I see this, and I see the teachings of Jesus and Paul and Peter, and see how pure and holy these commands are, and you keep telling me about the good that Muhammad did, but ignore the bad he did, I look at them and said, if anyone were to come to my daughter and kidnap my daughter or enslave my daughter and rape her, I will do everything I can to do something to that person and pray that God damns that person to hell. I would never follow such a person. But that's what you're telling us to do.
But you said Prophet Muhammad married the 9-year-old girl, right?
Yep, that's in your authentic sources. That's not me.
But puberty basically starts for girls around 8 to 13.
No,
so at that time,
no, that's very rare and that's not normal. But let's go with your logic. Even if she reached puberty, how does that justify a 54-year-old man? It says she was taken to his house while still having her dolls. She still had her dolls. And she sees a grown man old enough to be her grandfather, not her father, grandfather, fully naked. And she sees a man with an erect private part, and he's about to then mount her and deflower her. Be honest to God. That does not bother you? Be honest with the conscience, because you're created in the image of God, though you have sin. And I know your conscience is convicting because that's the spirit telling you, wake up. Are you serious? Okay, 9, she's now pubescent. That doesn't mean she's psychologically ready. Be serious with yourself. And the things that Muhammad did, like he abolished adoption. He abolished adoption, a humane practice. There's no way he can be from the same God that sent Jesus into the world. No way possible. If right